The Department of Homeland Security warns domestic violence extremists are likely to exploit the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The agency says it found calls for violence on social media last week. U.S. officials and law enforcement agencies have been preparing for the potential fallout from the court's ruling on abortion. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland said the Justice Department would go after those who sought to make their voices heard through violent actions. With us is CBS News reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez. Camilo, it's always good to see you. Tell us what more is in this memo. What are we learning?
Hi, Lana and VLad. An intelligence memo obtained by CBS News shows that the Department of Homeland Security is warning both state and local officials that we could see an increase in political violence related to that Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. DHS officials concluded that those most at risk of this potential political violence are state and federal officials, including judges, as well as the facilities where they work. This latest memo is part of broader intelligence that DHS regularly shares with its law enforcement partners to make sure they are aware of the most pressing homeland security threats facing the U.S. And this particular memo specifically focuses on domestic violent extremists. These are individuals who are not affiliated with a foreign entity, who engage in violence or other illegal activity for political objectives and ideological objectives. And we know that DHS is now predicting that these violent extremists could target protests related to this ruling, pregnancy resource centers, reproductive health services providers, and other facilities related to abortion. And we also know that they predict that this violence could last weeks because we expect many Republican-led states to move to restrict or ban abortion in response to this ruling.
And the tempers are flared.
Yeah, but so this briefing, this intelligence briefing says it's both reproductive and family advocacy healthcare facilities. And I know that you said it's domestic, and I know that you said there isn't one group. So how are they able to pinpoint who might choose violence going forward? Because you know what I'm saying? It's like it's hard to when you see people peacefully protesting in the street, that is their constitutional right to assemble and to protest something that they disagree with. So are there chat rooms that they're targeting? And again, it would strike me that this would be lone wolf type of activities, not any one group, because you haven't mentioned that there is one group that they're looking at.
That's an excellent question. What concerns the Department of Homeland Security most, Lana and VLad, is that they have already been tracking incidents of potential political violence related to abortion since a draft of this opinion issued on Friday was leaked back in May. They've already been tracking some of these incidents. These incidents include arson attacks against reproductive health services providers and pregnancy resource centers. They've also tracked 11 acts of vandalism committed against religious establishments perceived to be opposed to abortion. And I'm sure you can recall that earlier this month, a California man was charged with attempted murder after he was arrested near the home of Justice Brett Kavanaugh of the Supreme Court. He pleaded not guilty, but officials said that he allegedly told detectives that he was upset by the draft of the Supreme Court ruling. So they have already been tracking these incidents, and that is causing the concern.
Yeah. You mentioned the arson attack. I remember it was chilling. As long as abortion isn't safe, neither are you. The tempers are so flared, to Vlad's point, on both sides. How do they actually assess these threats and know which ones are credible?
No, that's an important question. It is important to underscore that just because these threats of political violence are included in these memos does not mean that they will materialize. We still have to monitor them and make sure that any threats are actually followed by action. But the main purpose of this intelligence, Lana, is to make sure that federal, state, local law enforcement, as well as private entities, are aware of these threats and that they are prepared to respond to them, because these officials and these groups, after all, are going to be the first ones on the scene to respond to any acts of political violence. So the main objective of these memos is to ensure that these officials and private entities are prepared to respond to any type of political violence.
All right. Camilo, as always, my friend, excellent reporting. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.